What we have here is a old engine oil fired boiler. Bought from Japan, this. What it happens is, oil comes from a reservoir up there. That's where the oil is stored. And I've also got a copper pipes in the tank to warm the oil up so it's preheated before it actually goes to the burner itself, which is this. You need a compressor, and it actually sprays it out like you're spraying a car, like you'd spray a car with a spray gun. When it comes to this boiler, it goes into this little vessel there, which heats the oil up so it's thin, so it can be sprayed. This is a standard oil-fired boiler which I've adapted to fit this actual burner. Then on top of this this boiler, I fitted a pipe like you have in an oil refinery, fractionating pipe. Inside there there's a beer gas bottle, CO2 bottle, adapted. So when the residual oil has condensed, it comes out of here, and all the cruddy, mucky oil comes out of there. But the condensed oil raises to the top. We don't turn the oil on until dripping into the condenser until it's got to temperature, which is round about 450 degrees. It's zero there at the moment. Oil for the condenser drips in through this pipe, just a constant drip from a dosing pump. That's a dosing pump what they use to say put chlorine in swimming baths and things. This is the oil that goes to the dosing pump, which is slowly fed through a filter to the dosing pump and dripped into the condenser. Then when it hits the hot CO2 bottle within this pipe, it's within the chimney of the boiler, it goes down this pipe. This is actually a water cooled condenser, but I don't use it, don't need to use it. Found that just by letting it run down the pipe and going outside, which I'll show later, it goes outside and the actual air cools it itself without having to put water through it. It's just another pump that I don't need to have. Right, well, I'll turn the actual burner, old engine oil burner on now, and the compressor at the same time. That noise is the oil actually going in to the vessel. It must have been a bit short when I turned it off the last time. Now we have to wait while the actual burner heats the oil up and it's thin enough to blow into the boiler itself. Right, we'll just stop. Right, at the moment I'm just topping the main reservoir tank up with old engine oil. As you can see, black as coal. Oh, open the breather. Oh, bloody hell. There we go, pour it in. Right, stop. Don't stop. Right, I'm just going to fill this watering can I've got here with oil. This will be later condensed, this oil that goes into here. It's just easier for me to pour it into a little storage vessel where I've got pinned to my wall. Bit of a messy job sometimes, get it all over the place, but it's one of them things you have to do. Right, I'm now pouring it into just a bit of a storage tank what I've got, so I can tell what I've put through the condenser, the amounts I mean. I have actually had a gallon per hour at one time, but it's too fast, it's too hard to keep control of. So I've slowed it down, so I probably get a gallon every 3 hours of boiler burning time. That's condensed oil, clean oil, which I'll show you as we get through this video. I have to pour a bit more in there, I haven't got enough watering can. Yeah, I'll put some more in. Pour some more in. The oil I get from garages and people that's done oil changes. So it's everything. Synthetic, semi-synthetic, natural oil, but it's all old engine oil. You leave it settling in big tanks so all the water and the main sludge settles out. Just a bit of a balancing trick. Nearly full up now. Oh, that's it. That's full. Oh, that's ready for it's all over my hands, see? I'll fill it up again. Ready for next time. Don't get too close, Alex. You on?
Yep.
Right, boiler's just fired up, as you can hear. I'll just turn this off so you can see the flame. Right, that is old engine oil, actually. Been sprayed into the boiler, and you can actually see the flicker of the flame. Just about probably there. The oil is bubbling there, see? That's heated up. Now what we need to do now is, what that actually does is heat this water jacket, standard gas oil fired boiler. It'll heat this water jacket, and these two pipes here and that pump go all the way to my house, which is 80 metres away. It probably takes about an hour to heat up all the radiators in the house, red hot. But as a byproduct to that, the heat's going up the chimney and outside through the shipping container and heating this vessel which I condense the oil down with to make diesel, or near enough diesel anyway. So on the other side of the boiler I've tapped off, and that's used when it's warm. It's used to heat the actual old engine oil up to make that thinner. So when it passes from the main storage tank there, it goes down to the little storage tank, which so it's preheated. So the actual tank there isn't having to work as hard. So now we need to just wait while the boiler gets up to temperature, and this needle here has to be right round. It's a barbecue thermostat, what they use for barbecues, and I found that it just about works, but it's in the red when I need it to be at the right temperature. When that gets into the red and past, it's up to temperature. Then that's what I do then, is turn the dosing pump on so it starts dripping oil into a red hot vessel within this chimney. Right, we'll just go outside now and just show a quick overview, and then stop the video while it all gets up to temperature. Right, what we have here now is from the outside, top of that top of the boiler. This is the chimney where it comes out, and that goes up the chimney and expels. As you can see, there's no smoke at all coming from old engine oil being burnt. That actual oil burner inside works. It's supposed to be within the EUC commission level of gas that comes out of the chimney. Right, so after it's gone through condensing, rose to the top, it condenses itself here, comes out this pipe and into this vessel here. I've got it stood in water to keep it cool. This is what I did earlier, yesterday. This is oil I made yesterday, and we'll just pour it into another vessel and just show you how clean it is. This yesterday was black old engine oil, and I'll just pour it in there now. As you can see, it's not black, it's actually see-through. I'll put my finger in it, in a bit of it, to just show you how clean it is. There you go, crystal clear old engine oil, and look how thin it is. So you could convert, if you filtered that just through a 1 micron filter, you could put that straight in your car mix it with a bit of diesel. But I'm using it for an old Lister diesel engine, CS Lister, which I'll show you later on in another video. But look at that, old engine oil, beautiful. Ooh, we've got too much, we'll get it in that drum. We have to pour some out into me. What I do is I let it settle in there, because you get odd pieces of like asphalt, big lumps of asphalt in it, which is easily filtered out, and that drops to the bottom of this tank. And then when I pour it into a bigger vessel, I'll leave all that behind. So we'll put this back on the pipe, and then later on the video I'll show you when it gets up to temperature, the boiler, I'll show you it actually coming out of that pipe. Oops. Put that on there. That's just so this is just so it rain. When it rains, it's outside for air to blow around it and condense it itself. And this is just to stop rain going in my tank. It actually got that hot at one stage that it melted the solder off of there. The oil that was going in there was that hot that it melted the solder. So now I leave the can in water just to keep it cool. Right, here we are again after the boiler's probably been running for about 3/4 of an hour. We're up at the actual condensing unit within this steel chimney has got up to temperature now. As you can see, all this rock wool and chicken mesh, it's all the rock wool on. It's just to keep it warm, so no heat can escape. We're up to temperature now. It's right round. The needle is right round. I don't know if you can see that. It's a barbecue thermostat. The needle is right round. Right. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to wait there with camera. I'm just going to just turn the power on, which goes to the dosing pump, which is 110 volts dosing pump. You might be able to hear it clicking. Well, that's because it's pumping oil now up along this copper pipe and into the top of the tube and dripping down in this tube that's inside here. It's dripping down and touching red hot metal, which instantly turns to a vapour. Then what happens is it turns to a vapour. The vapour comes up, it goes into the top of here, which is all it's a stainless steel thing I've made, which has got a dome in it and a circular cone shaped thing inside, a stainless steel. So when it hits the dome, it condenses on the dome and runs down the side of it into like a pocket, so it can't go back into the boiling chamber. So then it can't get out, so it comes down this tube here, this stainless steel tube. Right, runs down this steel tube, right down there. This one's just a breather, just in case there's a problem. If it gets blocked, it can blow off. But it naturally falls on its own trajectory down this pipe, and that goes down and outside when it hits the outside air. Right, we'll just go outside now and see if it starts to condense. It's been at temperature for about 3/4 of an hour. You get, off the smoke that comes off the condensed oil, you get a sulphur smell. So in the summer, just back off a bit with camera. In the summer, what I hope to do is fit a charcoal filter like they use on to get rid of the smell of cannabis plants. I'm going to make a box so it filters the smell of sulphur coming off this oil. So what? This is slightly warm now anyway. I'll just go get another vessel out of the shed. Leave the camera running out there. The dosing pump puts oil in at a drip rate what I've had to mess about with. I've had to keep doing trial and error. If the needle starts to on the head on the boiler, if the needle starts to drop temperature, I slow the oil that's going in down. You need to keep the temperature up, otherwise you end up with loads of oil in your vessel, which cools it down quicker. So I'll just take this out so you can see actual oil run out of this pipe. Right, at the moment that's clean oil that's been made. That, look at that, clean. That was old engine oil. It's actually a bit slow at the moment because I've only just started it up, but that will get faster and faster and faster as the hours go on. You end up with like not just one drip, you end up with like 4 drips. I'll film it in another half an hour. I'll film it in another half an hour and see how much it's speeded up, because I've only just turned the drip of the oil into the condensing unit. Right, I'll put this all back together again. A lot of lads out there are actually doing it, and their oil's coming out still black, and I don't really know why, but I'm dead happy with that. Right, we're back after about it's been up to, well, you can see it here, oil dropping out of this side. Right, that's the air, that's for air to come out. Right, it's been on up to temperature within on the boiler as a condenser for about an hour now. And I've got the dosing pump dripping oil into the condenser. Now we'll just take that off. I've got these bricks there, just packing it up so it don't leak, so the tube goes into the oil. So right, that actual smoke, look how fast that's coming out. That smoke is oil. It just ain't condensing quick enough because it's not cold enough. You really need cold days. What I'm going to do is run this pipe a lot longer. This is warm, this pipe, red hot, and I'm going to run this pipe a lot longer so the whole pipe can get the wind blowing around it. But all this smoke, you could light that, but I don't want to do. So I'll take this can I've got here and I'll pour it in. This oil that's in here has all been made from old engine oil, and look how thin it is. Condensing the oil changes the viscosity of the oil, and at the end of the day this is a byproduct because I'm heating my house with the old engine oil, what I'm burning, and I'm using the old engine oil to create the heat to condense the oil to change it into diesel. There we go. Now we'll put this back under. Right, we'll just swap that for that. Put it under there. This tub of water is just to keep the can cool as it gets hot. Just tip this in drum so we don't waste none. Right. It's quite warm today, so I've just had this system running just to video it really. I only really make the oil in the winter because it's too warm in summer. You can't have the heat. I've got to have the central heating on in the house to keep the boiler from turning off. So really I can only make it in the winter when it's cold. But this is for video purposes. Well, let me just turn the light on. For video purposes, I've just had it running today just to film it all. Right, so I'll just. You can hear the dosing pump clicking away and it's up to temperature. This started making, well, as long as it's burning oil, that's all engine oil in there, which is red hot because I've got it running off the central heating boiler and it's heating the tank up as well. So that's pretty much it really, if you understand all what I've done. Right, I'm now going to pour what I've made, clean oil, into a big vat. It looks dark in colour, but I assure you it's not. It's clear. You can see that. It's just because there's a lot of it. And then this is just another big container for it all. It settles again, and I'm not using it anyway just yet. I'm just storing it all up. You know, the longer it gets to settle, any bits of debris that's still in it will filter itself to the bottom of this IBC. And then all I do, I'm going to run a Lister engine off it, so all I'll do is, maybe if it isn't just quite thin enough, I mean look how thin that is, I'll just add a bit of red diesel with it to thin it down a bit. But anyway, all the contaminants have been removed, all the old engine oil, carbon and what have you. Beautiful. All that there, see them, all that plopping, that's tar, that's asphalt. But it's big lumps, it doesn't mix with the oil. When you heat the oil, when you condense the oil, some of it turns to asphalt or tar, but the big lumps of it, so you can quite easily filter it out, and it falls to the bottom anyway, so you always siphon off the top. If there's some left in this funnel, I'll show you when it's finished draining off. Look at that. Lovely. See all that crap in there? That is tar. Sludgy tar. Rubbish. But it's not fixed to the oil anymore. Look, it doesn't even want to stick to the oil. We can get rid of that quite easily now, and that's all the crap out of the old engine oil.